My name is Kira Smith. I am a student at Troy University. I'm in group discussion and leadership with Professor Gray, and today I'm going to be talking about how group discussion and leadership um, is shown in a team sport like basketball. And so I went and I watched the Troy women's basketball game in the Troy Arena November 6th with quite a few other people from my class. And our job there was to just see these communication theories in action. And so the main communication theory that I was personally focusing on is systems theory. Now, systems theory is currently one of my favorite ones. I don't know why I've just kind of focused on it, but it is what it is. And so, systems theory, now this is my own personal definition, but it's basically that the theory that groups of people act like scientific systems and they react to inputs and outputs and throughputs. And an input is, according to my systems theory taxonomy document from Professor Gray, an input is a resource or condition entering the system. A throughput is the transformative processes that convert inputs into outputs, and an output are consequences of system processing feedback into the environment or back into the system itself. And so there are a couple of different systems that I would say are at a basketball game. The main two, of course, are each team. So in this case, it would be the Troy women's basketball team and the Mississippi Valley basketball team. I would also say that the cheer team is a system there, the audience is a system there, the band's a system there. You could probably break audiences into different systems depending on groups there. But we're not delving into that because we are focusing on the two systems that are the Troy women's basketball team and the Mississippi Valley basketball team. And so I'm going to be talking about one specific input today, and it affects both of these systems, and this is the input that was probably an input that's also an output from a previous input, but I didn't necessarily recognize the input previous to this that created this output, and that is number 21 on the Mississippi Valley team replacing number 30 on the Mississippi Valley team. And so for the Troy team, I would say that this is an environmental or an informational input. And so an environmental input is a social or political climate or like a norm. And so I would say that this could be seen as a social or political climate because it definitely affects the climate of the game. I would also say that this is an informational input because informational inputs are data, feedback, timeframes, directives, demographics, histories, projections, and this is feedback that the Mississippi Valley team is giving the Troy University team. They're saying, oh, number 30 is not doing good enough, or number 30 is tired, or something like Troy's playing too much, too hard, like we need to put this girl in. And so for the Mississippi Valley team, I would say that this is a structural input, and a structural input are formal rules, hierarchies, or organizational framework, expectations, schedules, physical, financial, or technological resources. And I would say that number 21 is acting like a physical resource. I would say that this was, I said earlier that this was an input probably also as an output, just because there's adaptation outputs, and that's changes in policies, procedure, or practices due to inputs. And so I would say that the Troy team playing is the input that gave that. So throughputs, the Troy team would have to do decision throughputs, which is collective judgment, problem solving, consensus building, delegation, value establishing. They're also going to have to use communication, processes of means making, dialogue, interpretation, sense making, framing, reframing, restructuring or adaptation, which is adjustments in hierarchy, roles, alliances, group size, to accommodate to this new person, which I would say that they did successfully, which leads to the output. And I would say that the Troy team had a task output, which is progress, accomplishment, task completion, which I would say that they got because they won the game. I would also say that for the Mississippi Valley, the output that they had with number 21 would be a relationship change, which is shifts in trust, cohesion, identity, affinity, or roles, because number 21 kind of took over and I watched her block multiple goals, it definitely did make Troy struggle more for the win, at least for the part that I was very focused in on. She also made some penalty throws, and every time I personally watched her throw the basket or the ball, she made the basket. And so this was just an input that I saw that went into both teams. Because system inputs can be input into both systems or multiple systems at a time. And that's all I have for you guys today. So thank you for listening, and I hope you learned a little something.